You are going to keep repeating the same mistakes that your ancestors, your parents, your grandparents went through unless you decide to be different. Now, we all acquire this karma from our parents. Our soul just chooses the kind of lessons to go through. And before birth, your soul decides what parents, what situation, what country, what life in general is most suited to your current soul lesson. You do end up choosing your nearby reality because your soul saw something in it that would help you fulfill your current lessons for this lifetime and for the lifetimes to come. Now, this does mean that when coming to Earth, you agreed to be put into this life, to be put into this ancestral situation, this karmic lineage, which also means you acquire a lot of the karma that your ancestors in this current life were unable to fulfill. They were unable to go through it. And so you right now have your personal karma to work through, but you also have the karma to work through of your parents and your ancestors. And I got this really, really good comment recently from one of my clients where she said that she doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes, the same scenarios that her parents did. One part of this is awareness. You are aware of the mistakes that were made on this family line and the issues that exist. If there were any divorces, if there was anything worse, if there was cheating, if there was love triangles, whatever. Being aware is one thing. Not repeating the same things is a completely different thing. Because spiritually speaking, energetically, your soul has experienced this firsthand, this disruption of energy. So this is what feels familiar to you. If you don't give it conscious thoughts, if you don't consciously think about your actions, the consequences that they have, and all of that, you may end up repeating the same or similar mistakes unless you decide to be different and to do differently. Awareness is always going to be step one. It's always about understanding what actually went wrong. But it's not just what went wrong, it's what went wrong on an energetic level. Physically, on the current material plane, let's say, one thing has happened. Emotionally, we don't really know the full story, right? Because it's up to the two people, multiple people that are involved in this situation. But what happened energetically that led to this? How can you, as a person right now who doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes that your parents have gone through, let's say, how can you right now avoid that by understanding the actual root cause of where this has happened? And I fully believe that in every person's journey, they will reach a point at some point, I don't know when their soul is ready for this root answer. Because you can be sitting here right now and trying to understand exactly the reason why your parents went through divorce, and you might be really hurt by it because your inner child is possibly hurt, and that makes complete sense, and that's very valid to feel this. When you are trying to find this explanation through more hurt feelings, you're never going to get to the root cause of it, because the first thing that is required is to make peace with the situation, is to understand that you are not the same as the mistakes that have happened in the past. The best way I can explain it is that you are not responsible for the mistakes that were made and the issues that have happened in the past. It is outside of you, and you need to be the observer of this happening instead of emotionally involving yourself into something that has nothing to do with you. The ego is going to start creating excuses that, oh yeah, but I am involved. If an issue exists outside of you, it's up to the people that are involved in it. And so if you're trying to find an explanation to, let's say, a divorce happening, and you're deeply hurt by it, and you're still processing these feelings, you're never going to understand the root cause, because it does require making peace, and it does require you almost like separating yourself emotionally from this. Not choosing sides at all, but instead observing everything that has happened around you and being in the position of the observer, because you are meant to see the world from like this bird's eye view and then decide what it actually means to you. Not through your hurt feelings, not through your hurt little filters that exist, because again, the reality that we see right now is dependent on what kind of filters are in place in front of us. It's like wearing these rose-tinted glasses. I mean, if you wear them, everything is pink, everything is Barbie land, it's pretty. You take them off, oh my God, reality, what is this, right? Everybody sees reality differently. And so in the same exact way, if people in your family have gone through something and you have strong feelings about it, they have entirely different feelings. Their explanations to what has actually happened is entirely wrong. And unfortunately, you as the person that is observing everything, you're never going to understand the actual truth. You're going to see what has happened in one person's life, how they perceived it, what is their reality, and then you'll also see it in the other person's life, and the other person's life, and so on, to sort of create this massive puzzle piece of everything that went wrong that has a lot of intertwining connections between each other, but no judgment can be made. And when you reach this state of observing through peace and trying to understand what actually happened, you're going to see that there was always one person who was overgiving, overdoing because of their inner child problems, and the other person who was lacking the opposites of themselves. Because there's always going to be this yin-yang energy, right? There's always going to be the masculine and the feminine energy. Because of that, we end up attracting partners, situations, people into our lives that match us on this energetic level, that are like this polar opposite, let's say, that connects us. Because if you right now met a person that is exactly similar to you, exactly the same, you would not have anything to talk to about. Nothing. Because you're too similar. It's like, and the same exact thing ends up repelling like magnets, you know? And so when you do observe issues that have happened on like a family level and so on, you're always going to be seeing two polarities, two different things. One person was lacking something, the other person had it in them. They are attracted. A lot of people end up replaying the same karmic scenarios that their parents have gone through and that their parents' parents have gone through, and so on and so on. It's like a massive family tree line of people repeating same mistakes because they never knew better. If you right now are questioning this, you are doubting it, you are thinking to yourself that you do not want to be reliving the same mistakes and repeating the same lives and everything, you're already halfway there to creating and living a life of meaning, of purpose, of not repeating the same mistakes as them. Because the people that did end up reliving similar fates and all of that, they were unable to get out of this loop. But if you right now are questioning everything and you are watching this video, then that does mean that you are the cycle breaker, and you need to admire this part about yourself, that you do have this harder karma, let's say, to go through this shit and to experience all of this chaos and to learn how to be in this observer's seat, to see everything that's happening around you, not come to any conclusions, and instead find total peace in understanding that so many different issues have happened because of other issues that originated way in the past that have nothing to do with you right now. You have your free will. We all have free will in our lives to act differently, to do things differently. If you're noticing a pattern that is repeating itself in your family line, and you can see it happening generation to generation to generation, you can consciously get out of it. Are you ready to do things differently though? Are you ready to be the black sheep of the family? Are you ready to go against what everybody else does and what they have taught you? Not everyone has the guts to do that. And it takes a lot of strength to be able to pull yourself out of a situation like that. But let me tell you this, support exists. There are people there who want to support you. There are people there who are going to hold up this new energy that you are currently going through and experiencing. You won't repeat the same mistakes of your parents and your ancestors if you constantly remind yourself that you have the free will to choose your fate. Your fate isn't something that's like a predetermined thing that, oh yeah, this is exactly the kind of steps you need to take in your life and this is who you'll end up. No, you get to choose if you go left or right. You get to choose what you do. You have your free will. Certain lessons happen because of this free will choice. But then again, there are so many different polarities to the lessons that do exist in front of us that with one singular lesson, we can learn like 100 different perspectives and aspects of it that overall complete the karma that we were always meant to learn in this lifetime. Maybe you were meant to learn this karma in 5 years' time in a different situation, but because of your free will, the universe granted you this opportunity to fulfill this karma now and learn and have a newer kind of set of experiences. And this is such a beautiful thing to remind yourself that you always have this free will. You don't have to repeat the same mistake. You get to choose. How willing are you to do the inner work? It takes a lot of energy, a lot of courage to admit to yourself that I can't do this alone, because you need support. You don't have to go through this journey alone. I tried it. It's not possible. Go to therapy. Find people to talk to, find support systems that are gonna hold your new energy up and help you get clearer and clearer on what's actually happening on this deeper karmic ancestral level, because you're not meant to go through this alone. That's one of the worst things that you can be doing, and it even might be a karmic pattern to think that, oh, I have to go through everything alone, which you don't. You really don't. Through therapy, through inner work, through this very intense process of emotional clearing and overcoming and processing, you will end up seeing more clearly the actual truth. First of all, you need to shed everything that you're holding on to, everything that was passed down to you on like a soul level from your ancestors, from your parents, and you need to let it out. You need to cry it out. You need to scream it out. You need to let it out instead of letting these feelings sit in you and bubble up in you and create more of this manifestation of whatever. Like, it needs to get out of your body. As long as you think something, it doesn't actually exist in the physical reality. It's just a thought. It's somewhere there, bubbling up in the universe. It just exists out there. When you speak it, when you paint it, when you draw it, when you write it, when you sing it, whatever, when you move it, that's when it takes physical form. And this is what's needed to get it out. Because thoughts alone, you can be sitting and thinking and spiraling for a very long time, possibly even a whole lifetime. But where is that going to get you? Nowhere. You need to make a choice though. You need to choose what serves your highest self. How do you want to be living your life with your free will, with your free choices? And of course, the ego is going to come up with ideas that like, oh, but I can't because I can't do this because I have this obstacle in your life. You're creating so many excuses. And guess what? Whenever you create an excuse, you're always right. Whether you do something, whether you don't do something, if you create an excuse about either thing, you're always going to be right. Because your feelings are going to be self-validated. You're going to be telling yourself, well, I can't do this right now because whatever. That makes you automatically right. If you said, I can do it, again, you're right. So there's no winning. There's literally no winning when you're creating these excuses to not do something, for example. With a lot of the patterns that do exist in your life, you might observe them, you might see them, you might be aware of them, and you might keep repeating them. That happens too. But if you keep repeating the same situations that have happened in the past and you're repeating them again and again and again, that means you never actually learned the thing that needed to be learned. I have had countless clients come to me because they are having issues with karmic partners and everything associated with karmic partners, saying that I've been doing the inner work and I've been doing everything, but why do I keep repeating the same karmic patterns and the same relationship mistakes? And it always goes back to the soul not learning the lesson that needed to be learned. Maybe it's entirely different to the way that you thought it is. Because again, there is a difference to what you perceive on like a physical level that is right to what your soul deems right. Very different things. And sometimes it's about fulfilling this question, this need on like a personal material ego level. But then another time you might repeat the same lesson and fulfill it entirely differently spiritually. Again, you need the balance of the two because both of them are attracted to each other. The yin and the yang, they both come together. You're not going to repeat the same mistakes as your parents if you're consciously aware of what these mistakes are, how they played out in their life, and you realize that you have a choice to live your own life the way that you want it because you have the free will. You don't have to be repeating the same mistakes as them. You don't have to. It's not written in your life purpose, in your fate, that you have to play out the same exact situations as them to fulfill some karma. No. You get to choose the way that you live. You get to choose how you go through things. And the number one thing that's going to support you going through this journey is a very strong support system. Find the people that you trust. Go to therapy, speak to someone, find a coach, find somebody who is going to be able to hold space for you while you shed all of this negativity and all of the crap that has been forced into you upon arrival to Earth. Because there's a lot in there. And before you clear it up and you live this pure, authentic life, there's a very long purpose of shedding and of releasing and of getting rid of everything that you're holding on to from your past and from your past lives. It's so much energy that's just cooped up in you right now. But because you are already reaching this point where you are telling yourself and you're realizing that I don't want to be reliving this fate, you're already halfway there. You've already started this process of shedding. So you're already there. This video ended up being a lot longer than I expected, honestly, but I am very passionate about this topic. And if you need someone to talk to, feel free to message me on Instagram. I'm here for you. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video.